Imagine you're sitting around a campfire with 20 other people. Something suddenly moves beyond the dark tree line. You need to warn everyone, right now, but you don't know a single word. All you have are your hands, your face, and the sounds from your throat. In that tiny moment, your entire group's survival depends on communication. Today, you send a text with your thumb, and someone on the other side of the planet understands you instantly. You never stop to think about it. Words simply work. But for most of human history, none of that existed. There was no word for run. There was no word for danger. You couldn't even explain where the water was. You had to physically lead people there yourself. Then something incredible changed human history forever. The strange part is, we still don't know exactly when language began. No one knows the day, or even the century, because words don't leave fossils behind. No archaeologist has ever dug up a sentence. All we have are tiny clues hidden in bones, tools, and the human brain. Let's start with the body, because language didn't begin in the mouth. It actually began in the throat. Modern humans have a larynx that sits lower in the neck. That gives us a much wider range of speech sounds. You're using those sounds right now while listening to this video. Chimpanzees, our closest living relatives, don't have the same vocal tract. That's one reason chimps can't speak like humans. It wasn't because they weren't intelligent. Their throats were simply built for a different kind of life. But here's the surprising part. A lower larynx also comes with a dangerous cost. It makes choking much more likely. Food and air have to share almost the same pathway. Evolution normally doesn't keep risky features without a good reason. That means speech had to be incredibly valuable. Speech wasn't just another human skill. It became one of the greatest survival advantages we ever evolved. Now the story becomes even more interesting. In 1983, archaeologists made an incredible discovery in Israel. Inside Kebara Cave, they found a remarkably preserved Neanderthal skeleton. The skeleton was nearly 60,000 years old, but one tiny bone caught everyone's attention. It was called the hyoid bone. This tiny bone helps control the muscles used for speech, and surprisingly, it looked almost identical to ours. That doesn't prove Neanderthals spoke exactly like we do, but it suggests they may have had the hardware for speech. Then scientists discovered another incredible clue. It was hidden inside our DNA. Scientists call it the FOXP2 gene, and it changed everything. In 2001, scientists discovered something extraordinary inside one British family. Generation after generation, many family members struggled to speak normally. The problem wasn't intelligence, it was language itself. Researchers traced the cause to a single gene, FOXP2. But the biggest surprise was still waiting. Scientists later extracted DNA from Neanderthal fossils found in Spain. They searched for one specific gene, FOXP2, and they found almost the exact same version humans have today. That completely changed how scientists viewed Neanderthals. Maybe they were communicating in ways far more advanced than we ever imagined, but having the right gene doesn't automatically create language. A parrot can copy human words, but it doesn't understand a conversation. The real mystery isn't making sounds, it's giving those sounds meaning. Two different brains had to agree on what those sounds meant, and that's where the trail suddenly goes cold. Because conversations don't fossilize. No one can dig up the first sentence ever spoken. So scientists look for something almost as good: behavior. Around 300,000 years ago, early Homo sapiens began making much more advanced tools. Making those tools required planning, teaching, and shared knowledge. Teaching a skill like this without language would have been incredibly difficult. Words could turn a difficult lesson into simple instructions. Then archaeologists discovered something even stranger at Blombos Cave. Inside, they found pieces of ochre covered with deliberate geometric patterns. These weren't random scratches. They looked like symbols with meaning. A symbol only works if other people understand it too, and that's exactly what language does. By around 100,000 years ago, humans also began wearing shell beads. Those beads probably meant something to the people wearing them. Messages like that become much more powerful when people can explain them with words. Then, around 70,000 years ago, something extraordinary began to happen. Stone tools suddenly became far more advanced than ever before. Humans also began trading valuable materials across incredible distances. People even started crossing open oceans on purpose. None of that would have been easy without clear communication. Anthropologists call this period the Great Leap Forward, but it probably wasn't one sudden leap at all. Instead, language slowly became more powerful over thousands of years. Eventually, humans could talk about things that weren't even in front of them. That may have been the most powerful invention our species ever created. But a language has one frustrating problem. It leaves no fossils behind. No archaeologist will ever uncover the very first conversation. But once people could explain ideas with words, knowledge no longer died with them. One discovery could spread from one camp to another and another. For the first time, humans could build knowledge together. Language became humanity's greatest survival tool. Today, every conversation you have is part of that ancient story. We didn't conquer the world because we were the strongest. We succeeded because one person could share an idea and another could understand it. Every word you speak today is part of a journey that began hundreds of thousands of years ago. Thanks for watching.